This is so awkward. Every time I sit here and I wait for my viewers to join and I look like a crazy person chatting with myself. There's somebody. Hi, my sister. How are you? Well, I see Sam. Okay, friends. Oh, Sanaa. Now I don't look so ridiculous talking to myself. Guys, how are you tonight? I hope everyone's doing well. Tonight I'll be chatting with Sanaa. We have a really interesting conversation happening. I'm excited to chat with her. I'm going to welcome her in and we can get started. Hi, Sam. How are you? I'll be chatting with Sam on Saturday, guys. Super excited for that. Oh, hey, Ma. We're just going to wait for Sanaa to join in. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, honestly, I've been thinking all day about how I don't do the Instagram properly. And I was like, I don't know how to do the gram the way the professionals do the gram, and I don't have time to want to or care.
Yeah, whatever.
So before we get started, Sanaa, I just want to let everybody know, for those who are newly following me, I'm probably not gonna follow you back. Let's be real. I'm not gonna do it because honestly,
there's no follow for follow.
and it's not even that. I just I don't have time or patience to sit in social media as proper etiquette. I am not proper etiquette. We're talking about self-love tonight, guys, so I just want to get out there that this is me loving myself.
Yes.
I'm served by the people I'm served by, not by the masses. So
there you go. I think that's what it's all about, right? It's just finding your own validation.
I think so. And I think that's something I learned from you, Sanaa, because you've been so unapologetic who you are and you've come into your ways so beautifully. And I'm so excited to get started with that. But you did promise me something.
Okay, I did. But first, I have to do a shout out tonight. Today, and I think she's watching now, it's my teta's birthday.
Oh,
and it's her she's 86 years old. Hi, Teta. I'm pretty sure she's watching. I think I just saw my aunt come on. So she's 86 years old and living through this for the first time ever.
Imagine everything she's lived through, and now she's living through this. Let me, inshallah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out for her birthday since she has to quarantine. Yeah. But today's going to be so fun because I have cards.
A tarot reading.
I have cards. Elsie came in. She goes, "You have your cards? Does she have cards too? Are you going to play your card game?" She was so excited.
Okay. So before we even do it, because I have a really hard time with this, I am a part of me so intrigued by it. And I'm so I've always wanted a reading. I've always wanted to see a fortune teller. And then the other part of me is no, stupid. It's for
I know.
And I toy with this. So, and I know a lot of us do, especially a lot of really faithful people do, because a lot of religions don't condone this type of
absolutely
behavior.
I mean, it's not traditional, right? And so if you look back at our parents' generations, and everyone's been told, no, don't mess with that because you don't know what you're opening up to. And that's the reality, is you really don't know what you're opening up to, and you don't know what lies in the spiritual world. Anything can be there.
And I think with saying that, it's because no religion disregards the belief in that or the ability of it. I think that every religion recognizes it's there, and that's why you shouldn't necessarily always toy with it, because in the wrong person's hands that could potentially be harmful, right?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, I just think that with any organized religion, and I don't want to get too much into religion, I really don't want to, but with any organized religion, all the bases are the same. This is what we believe and this is what we follow, and we don't stray from that because we don't know what is going to happen, and we're too scared. We don't want to go into the unknown. And I think that with this spirituality, and I've really come into my spirituality, and I don't like to label it. I don't have a label for what I believe in. I'm open to a lot of things. I'm extremely open-minded, and I think anything is possible. So for me, with these tarot cards, I don't see it as a way of fortune telling. I see it as more so, and I told you this, as an affirmation. It's something that you need to hear.
Yeah.
And there's a specific reason for it. And every single time I've ever drawn a card, now I told you last time about Reiki, so I get spiritual healing done on me. And then we would always do, let's pick a card after, let's see what it says. Every single time, like I can't even make this up, like every single time I would draw a card, it was exactly what I needed to hear at that time. We would set the intention for what we were going to do that day, and then I would draw a card and it would relate to that, like every single time. You can't make that stuff up. I just, like you just can't make it up. And for some reason I was thinking about what are we going to talk about today? Like, how are we going to bring in self-love? And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I really want to draw a card or two, or just even a couple cards for you. Because I think we're all having a really hard time right now, especially parents of little children. Come, you can come. I have one that's awake right now who's like usually sleeping, but come see my friends. Come. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
This is Sasha.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
How's it going?
Yeah. Why are you still awake?
Because I want to get the challenge.
You want to get a challenge on what?
Fortnite, so I can get this shadow Buddhist.
So my 4-year-old plays Fortnite. If you guys want to know how this quarantine is going, he has challenges and V-Bucks, and he knows what he's doing.
No, and tomorrow, Baba's going to give me V-Bucks.
Tomorrow, Baba's going to get him V-Bucks.
What is this?
Okay, these are my cards. Say bye now. I just wanted you to say
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay, go. Good night. Go.
Bye.
Elsie's here too.
Bye.
Okay, say good night.
Bye.
It's okay. They're just saying hi. Just close the door.
Get him out of here, man. We gotta talk about
So a lot has changed in a month. Like, there's no bedtime. Like, what is bedtime?
Yeah, honestly, I feel you.
Okay. Okay, we're good. We're out of here. Yeah. So I have these cards, and I think, Anusha, why do you guys look so good at 9 p.m. in quarantine? So I learned my lesson, because last time I came on in my pajamas, my hair tied in like a nappy bun. I had it was just gross. And then I'm like, you know what? Everyone has been coming on here looking so good. Everybody. I was the only one. And I forgot what it looks like. I forgot what my hair looks like. I don't even know.
It's look good. Listen, I was making kusa all day. You guys can see me, but you can't smell me, okay? So
yum.
Put it that
Okay, so we're gonna draw some cards first. I'm gonna pick, I think I want to do 3 cards for you. And I'm just going to read what it says. And again, this isn't fortune. This is just strictly an affirmation, just kind of something that you might need to hear, something like maybe the path that you're going on or what you're currently doing. And let's just see what it says.
Let's see. I'm going to attack it with logic, though. I have to.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, every single card is going to be positive. And every single card is probably something that you can relate to on some level. They're designed that way, let's be honest. But it is fun. Okay. I'm just spreading them out.
Let's do it.
Until I feel like I'm called. All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Tara will make $1 million off of this show in 2 more weeks.
No, it's not that at all. Okay, look, this one is good. So this says, if everyone can see, your life is a canvas.
Oh, that's
okay.
That's fitting because I'm a hairstylist.
Yes, you're a creator. You're an artist. See? So I'm going to read to you what it says.
But wait, who holds a paintbrush? It doesn't tell me that.
Well, let's see what this says. Okay, listen. You are the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take responsibility for your ability to create. Okay?
Ooh.
Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. So tell me this is not accurate right now.
It's very accurate. It's very accurate. And I feel like I have created some shit that is going to canvas my future.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just hope it
Absolutely.
does it in a positive manner, but let's see what happens.
I think, yeah. So what kind of life do you want to create for the future? What are you being called to create?
Ooh.
Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start.
I just got goosebumps, and I feel like if I put my arm close enough to the camera, you guys can see, because I haven't waxed in months.
Who has? I'm telling you, this is you. This is for you.
That is for me. That is for me. That's terrifying. That is
Okay.
terrifying.
Okay, listen to this, because this next sentence, here's what I was thinking about. Not only have you been putting this show together and getting all these people together, but you're doing it on a daily basis. Like at first I thought it was going to be a couple times a week, whatever. It's every single day you have things lined up and you're planning ahead of time what you're going to do. So this is all you need is an open heart and mind and consistent daily action.
Hold on. Smalla mashallah.
I'm gonna light on fire. Stop it.
Where? Omar, bring the sage.
I can't. Okay, hold on. If you're not sure what you'd like to create, start instead with a feeling of deep gratitude for all that's good in your life right now. State out loud what you're most thankful for. I froze?
It's good. You're good.
Okay. State out loud what you're most thankful for. Look for the good in your life, and one thing will be certain. You'll find yourself attracting more and more good experiences into your world.
Like, it's okay. I get it.
Okay, just a little bit more. This card, you're so good. This card is inviting you to see your entire life as a canvas, and the picture is completely up to you. Color it with your thoughts and feelings. Create the life that you most long to live. You may also be called to be more creative in your everyday life. What have you been called to create? How can you express yourself more creatively? Boom.
Boom.
I just think like
Allah, please.
I think I need a drink for that one.
Thank you, Sanaa. That was awesome. I got like heebie-jeebies and goosebumps, and
I'm
like,
so glad. I don't know.
Good.
I felt the need to do it, and I think it was perfect.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I moved it over to this account. I said I want to keep a large part of my life private. And I feel like I was scared, because I was like, how many people actually enjoy this? How many people actually do? And in 2 days, I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that genuinely care for my shit. And that's really awesome to see that.
You're creating the content. You're doing it. Yeah, you're getting people together. People that maybe don't even know each other, but know of each other and want to know more about each other. And we're having these conversations and opening up to other ideas and what's really going on. And I think it's great. And I think you should keep going. And I definitely see like a podcast in your future, and like just keep creating.
That's awesome. I love it. But Sanaa, the point of tonight is not to talk about me. It's to talk about you.
We can talk about us.
We can talk about us.
Yeah.
Sanaa, how did all of this, the tarot cards, the you know, that journey happen along your path to self-love?
So yeah, I think that it actually really started with this. I've always been kind of called, or I felt strongly about this spiritual world, and I didn't know how to get into it. I didn't know how to enter it, but I was always open to it. And remember that show, Long Island Medium?
Yes, you froze again.
Froze. Do you remember that show? It was a TLC show.
The one with the hair?
Long Island Medium. Anyways, it was this medium. Mine's lagging. It's frozen. I don't know if...
Turn the Wi-Fi off. It's a 5G.
Yeah.
Oh no, what's happening? Sanaa complimented me, and now the eye is coming for me.
Okay, we're good?
We're good.
Okay. So Long Island Medium. Are you familiar with that? It was
Yes,
a
the one
medium.
with
Yeah.
the hair.
Yeah. I used to be obsessed with that show. I used to watch it all the time before anyone really close to me had even passed away. I really believed in it. I believed it was true. And I was like, I love mediums. Like, this is so cool. So after my mom passed away, I knew that that's something that I wanted to do. So about 6 months after, I found a medium. I went to my appointment. I didn't even tell anybody that I was going because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to go, and I didn't want to have to explain if it didn't go well. So I didn't even tell anyone I was going. I just went. Now, it was mind blowing, my experience, and I have to say that it's not for everybody. I know that for sure. It's not always going to work. I sent somebody afterwards, and unfortunately it didn't work for them, but for me it was like boom, every single thing was bang on. It was really good. And during my session with her, she said to me, like, you should really get into Reiki. And I was like, I don't even know what Reiki is. And she's like, oh, it's energy healing, and you're vibrating very low. Like, I can feel that you're vibrating very low, which isn't good. Reiki is going to help you. And I wanted nothing to do with it. I'm like, I just want to connect back with my mom. Like, can we get back to that? Like, I didn't even care. And she's like, no, you need to understand that I'm being called to tell you this. I'm not just telling you this for no reason. Like, I'm telling you this. And I was like, okay. And then she did some cards with me there. And that was the first time I had actual cards done. So I left there and I kind of forgot about it. And I didn't know anything of it and whatever. I went and I thought about it more. I'm like, I should try it. I had a session. It was good. I'll explain what I felt during the session. Everybody experiences it differently, but for me, I felt like just very relaxed. So what you do with Reiki is move your hands on top of different body parts. And the goal is to unblock your energy points in your body, because over time these energy points get blocked, and that's what causes you to not feel good. It causes illness, it causes stress, it causes anxiety. And I was feeling all of these things. Like, I wasn't doing well. As I said last time, like, I just was not doing well. So I started doing that. And with my Reiki sessions, we would pull tarot cards. Right. And when the first time I pulled my card, it said, like, the path that you're on is the right path. That was my first card. And I was like, wow, like, I feel like I really want to get into this. I just felt like really called to it. I can't even explain the feeling. So I just continued with that. And as I was doing that, I was starting to heal. Wow. And I was starting to heal traumas and things from my past. I have a Sasha's back.
Hey, boo.
Say hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Do you want to listen to this bedtime story?
Yes. Just listen to me talk, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I started to heal, and I started to think about all of these things that had happened in my life that were causing me to be the way that I was. And at that point, the way that I was just someone who wasn't happy and someone who wasn't feeling good on a daily basis, and just really guilt-ridden and really stressed out and anxious. And I wasn't happy at the time. And that is what really got me into the whole self-love and self-growth, because I felt like I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to grow as a person. I want to be better. I want to work on everything that's making me feel the way that I'm feeling right now. And so for me, the two worlds are connected, because that's what made me get into the self-love and wanting to work on myself. And then I worked with a self-love coach while I was doing the Reiki. And can you stop, Sasha, please, Mama? Thanks.
I want to see when I'm going to be bald.
Aww.
We tried cutting his hair today. We tried.
It looks so good. You look so handsome, bud. It's so nice.
This side, there's no sideburn, and then this side is full sideburn because he stopped. He went on mute.
Just grab a bowl from the kitchen. It'll do for
you. Okay, you're good. Yeah, so that's what got me into it. And Sasha, if you're going to stay, you can stay, but you have to let me talk, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so it got me into it, and again, for me, it's all connected. Like the Reiki and the energy healing, a lot of people think it's bogus. A lot of people, you know, they don't even know about it. But it allowed me to get to the point that I got to of wanting to really grow and wanting to be happy and wanting to like myself.
Right.
And gratitude is huge. Gratitude plays a huge role in it.
Did I just heard your daddy say he had a surprise for you in the other room.
Does Tato have a surprise? Go.
No.
Yeah.
Guys,
Go.
these are my parenting tactics, by the way.
Oh, I'm full on like threatening level now. Like, or bribing. Go to bed now and I'll get you V-Bucks.
Ooh.
If you go to bed, I'll get you V-Bucks.
No, Baba is going to.
Okay, go. Can you just move over? Thank you.
No, aren't you
Yeah.
Put you all day, son. Go away.
And
I want to listen to the bedtime story.
now he's like, I want to listen to the bedtime story.
Hi, Tina.
Hi.
So with all that said, you kind of found it in a very positive light. It led you to your self-love journey. Now you're here, and you've made all sort of the self-awareness strides that you've made.
Yeah.
Has it ever impacted you in a negative way along the journey? Have you ever stopped and found yourself self-loathing at any point?
Yeah, I mean, growth is not easy. It's never easy. And what happens when you're growing and when you're working with energy and you're trying to heal is that you find yourself very exposed. It's almost like your wounds are open now, and now you have to deal with it. And it's not fun and it's not easy sometimes, but I know that you have to get through it in order to grow. And so I feel like every once in a while something happens where I start feeling anxious, I start not feeling good, and I'm like, okay, it's time to level up. And that's what happens. And each time it's like, okay, I'm gonna get through this and it's time to level up. And that's kind of how I've been seeing it. But it's not easy. It's actually harder to go on a self-love journey than it is to not.
Sanaa, did you ever find it difficult with the community you were in to go through that journey?
So for me, I'm a bit of an advantage because I don't live in Ottawa anymore.
Right.
And it's not that, like, I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I'm more so alone here. And so I don't have any family around me on a day-to-day basis, although I do communicate with my family and my friends and constantly, but they're not watching what I'm doing and they're not seeing the day-to-day. And it's actually kind of been easier for me to be able to do this because a lot of it has been done on my own without having to worry about everyone around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's been easier, I'd say.
Do you think had you stayed in Ottawa, you wouldn't have gone down that path or down that journey at all?
I think it would have been a lot more difficult because I think I would have been preoccupied with a lot more of other people's lives than my own.
Right.
So I was always, even like when I came back after, because I spent time in Ottawa when my mom passed away, and then I came back, and so I kind of see things in two, like when the time when I was in Ottawa a lot and the time when I just came back and I wasn't going as much anymore because everything was done. There was no reason to keep going back. Yeah. So I was really concerned with like my dad's well-being, my brother's well-being, everyone around me that was trying to heal from the loss of their sister and their daughter. It was my mom, but they were also going through something very difficult. And from a distance, I was trying to not bring it up and not talk about it and not deal with it just for everybody else's sake. So if I'm going to be honest, that's what it was. Like I couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't even bring it up to anybody because it was going to upset them.
Right.
And so I do find myself a little bit more distanced from a lot of people, and it's not anything personal at all. It's just because I have to be, because I can't be as concerned as I was with everybody in their own well-being. I had to worry about myself.
Well, and I think that's a very valid statement. I think the unfortunate side of Ottawa is that everybody is, people in general, not just Ottawa,
Yeah.
we're all self-serving.
Mama, it's
right?
dark.
And we all have this idea that, you know, everybody has to care about me and what I'm doing, and we never think about their themselves
Yeah.
and what they're
Yeah.
and it's a really unfortunate mentality, and it all comes from a place of some, I don't want to say trauma, but some area that's not fully healed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the generation before us, honestly, like they have so much unresolved trauma.
For sure.
Big time. And it does get frustrating sometimes because I am dealing with like my parents' generation, and I'm working so hard on myself, and I get frustrated. Like, why are these people who are much older than me and who have lived through so much more than me, why aren't they doing the same thing? Or why haven't they done it? Like, how is it taking them this long? And like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Okay, so turn the light on. It's right there. The switch is right there. Look, I can see it. That side of me comes out.
This is the real people, real conversations. Ask
Exactly. Mom life. Quarantine mom life. Go. Go. Be gone.
Walking away.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good.
It's very true though, and I see that a lot, and I think there's different people. Some people suffer the repercussions of their parents and the unhealed trauma that they dealt with that,
Yeah.
and other people suffer trying to break free of that. And I feel like for myself, that's where a lot of my suffering came from. It was trying to escape that idea that you couldn't ask certain questions, you couldn't have certain conversations.
Yeah.
You couldn't say, I'm depressed if you were depressed. It was very like, no, you're not, you're hungry, or no, you're not, you're stupid, or look at that
Yeah.
this other country that's worse off than you, and how dare
Yeah.
you say you're depressed? What gives you a right to not to be depressed? Everybody has a parent that dies, you know?
Yeah.
It's that notion that this idea is strength, when the reality is that it is weakness, because it's that unwillingness to face the issue head on, deal with it, recover from it, and then move on.
Yeah.
The next issue you're going to be dealt with. And it's a very unfortunate mentality that has been passed down.
It has. It's really difficult to watch, and it's hard to see because, you know, like if we think back to all of the things that our parents have gone through and that generation has gone through, and they lived through war, and they're refugees, and they leave their country, and they have to start a new life, and they don't speak the language, and like the stuff that we're dealing with isn't even like on that level. Like it's just, I don't even know how they did it, but they suppress it, and they struggle, and they don't show it to us. And I find that with me, I think the biggest part of all of this is like I'm trying to maintain my own identity regardless of what I've been through, and regardless of how hard things have been. I'm a mother, I'm an employee, I'm a wife, I'm a this and that, but who am I? Like at the end of the day, who am I? I'm having a hard time with that, and I want to maintain my own identity. And I also want my children to see that it's not easy to do that, because our parents tried so hard, they struggled so much, but they tried so hard not to show us that they were struggling.
Right.
You know, like they didn't want to admit it just for our sake. They thought it was better for us. But if we show our children that we are still individuals, regardless of the fact that we're parents, and regardless of the fact that, you know, we have so many different roles in life, we are individuals at the end of the day, and we have our struggles, because they're going to have the same struggles. And when it comes time for them to, they won't feel alone.
Right.
We feel alone because we don't realize what our mothers went through, because they didn't share that with us.
Well, and it's funny because when this situation happened, when COVID happened, I really sat with myself. And I said to myself, I have been through a lot. I've overcome a lot of traumas and a lot of struggles. This is the new trauma that I know I'm going to face. Maybe right now I'm going through the motions. But I know personally for myself, come 5-6 months of this being over, I'm going to be hit with the sad reality that this is my trauma. And I've never experienced anything like this, nor to this magnitude. And I had to tell myself, and respectfully so to everybody who does the things that they do on social media, but I had to tell myself, I said, you don't have to be rude, but if it doesn't serve you, you also don't have to look.
Yeah.
I center my attention where I feel it necessary to go. And when I'm feeling the ways that I'm feeling, I know to take a step back. Whether or not that offends you, Sanaa, or somebody else, we have to understand our thought processes, our healthy thought processes, in order to heal what we're going to be in, you know, the next little bit after this.
Yeah. And I think whether we like it or not, or we acknowledge it or not, we're in survival mode right now.
We are.
We're going through something that no one has ever gone through before. We
Right.
don't know what we're doing. We are all at a loss because we've all lost our way of life. Like the normal day-to-day things that we had no longer exist. And we have to grieve that, and we have to survive because we don't know how long it's going to go for. And it's not sustainable to not deal with our emotions. It's not sustainable to not work on us and deal with what we're going through. And so every single day I find like it's a constant battle with myself. Like I have good days, I have bad days, but I'm always having to talk myself down and talk myself into like, we're going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. You're going to get through this. Today is just a bad day. Tomorrow's an opportunity for a better day.
Yeah, 100%. And it's very hard because, you know, as we're doing that, not everybody is able to recognize that nobody is healed. Everybody is in a constant state of healing. So if you think that you're healed all of a sudden and you are where you are and you're woke or whatever that terminology is, you're not. You're not, because we're all half asleep. And we're always going to be half asleep. And that is life, and that is knowledge.
Yeah.
That is the willingness to grow that knowledge, is acknowledging that healing is a forever process. And you have to stop, like you said, and ask yourself, are these thoughts okay to have?
Mm-hmm.
Are they healthy to have? Does it change anything if I have them? What in my power can I change with this thought process?
How is this serving me?
How is this serving me?
Yeah.
And how can I use this if I potentially wanted to serve others? How can I harness that to do it properly while maintaining my health and my mental aspect of it? So it's very interesting to see everybody go through this scenario.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're all triggered by almost everything right now.
Well, that's the thing, is everyone is triggered and everyone's reacting in their own way. And I'm finding that so many people are on edge. And so many people are just reacting without even thinking about it. And so we have this house that we're building at the same time of all of this. And to be honest, that's a bit of my saving grace. Like, it's keeping me distracted.
Right.
But I'm dealing with different companies and different people for things that we need to order and things that we need to get organized. And like, people are crusty. Yeah. Like, they're just straight up crusty. And I'm just like, okay, stop. They're going through something right now. They don't know how to react. Their life has also been taken away from them. I need to just be patient, and I just need to just give kindness. That's all I can do, is just provide kindness. And I'm like, okay, I hope you have a really nice day. I hope your day gets better. I hope that you find some peace. And because if I don't do that, their day is just going to get worse. And then they're going to bring that on to more people and more people. And it's just going to be a vicious cycle.
No, it's so true. It's the unfortunate truth, right?
Yeah.
So being where you are in isolation and kind of absorbing that energy from the people that you do have to come in contact with, what does that do for you? Do you feel like you're sort of impacted by that energy that you're receiving?
Yeah, like, you take it on, right? And it's not even just the people that I'm dealing with. It's like the same people in this, like the house, like it's your husband, it's your kids, it's my in-laws, it's everybody. We're all going through everything, and we're all trying our best not to like kill each other right now, because we're going a bit crazy. But I've learned that when I react without thinking, and I react from a place of anxiety, or react from a place of shame, or just something negative, my whole day is off. Like, my entire day, I can't handle it. I'm thinking about it. I'm overthinking. I'm overanalyzing. Why did I react like that? Why didn't I just let it go? Why didn't I? And like, it's just like, it's spinning. So I'm really trying really hard to not react and just to be patient. But also set some boundaries too, because you can't just let everyone walk all over you just because they're going through something, right? Like, you still have to maintain a level of respect. But I really truly believe that if we just feed kindness, it'll come back to us. Right. So that's what I try and do, and that's what I try and go. And I was in therapy years ago, and the therapist was trying to tell me that, and I wasn't really understanding the concept of it. But now I feel like I've grown a lot more, and I can see, like, you're going to get back whatever you give. Right. It's just, as hard as it is, just think of what that person is going through, treat them how you want to be treated, and it's just going to come right back to you. And it's proven to be true every single time. I agree. And
but it's hard because you need like-minded people who understand that. Because
Yeah.
there's always going to be, and I'm not trying to be negative. When I talk, guys, I'm never trying to bring it back to the negative, but
No, it's a different perspective.
it's not even that it's a different perspective. I think it's the reality where you have people who think of the good in people, and you have people who don't recognize trauma and assume that that person is just bad. Right? So
yeah.
It's really, you have to be in the proper state of self-awareness in order to empathize in the way that you do.
And that comes with growth. It really does. I used to take things very personally all the time, and now I'm getting to a level where I can recognize that when people are in pain, they're going to act a way that's not truly how they are, and they can't help it. Emotional pain, physical pain. And so when they are reacting, it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with me. Just the way that when I react, or when I'm upset, or if like I say the wrong thing and I fight first before I listen, that's me. That's coming from me. It's not coming from the person that I'm talking to, right? And we all go through it. I mean, it's normal. It's human, right?
I think I've done that publicly.
Yeah, but we just learn from every single experience and learn each time and just grow from it, and that's all that we can do.
No, you're absolutely right, Sanaa. Sanaa, what is your ultimate tool right now to sort of staying sane?
I mean, it's hard. Sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. So imposter syndrome is like when I'm putting on a front, but really that's not how like I am. Like I feel like, okay, I'm here to talk about self-love. Meanwhile, I'm like crying the other day because I just feel like shit and horrible and hate myself, right? And it comes in waves, like I said, and you have good days and you have bad days. But a tool that I've learned along the way that actually is very helpful is journaling.
Yeah.
So writing, because you need a form of release, and you also need a form of understanding and analyzing. Okay, so you write down how you're feeling. And I have this app. I downloaded this app, and it's called Reflecti. I can share it on my story later. And it's a journaling app. So instead of actually writing it down in a book, you write it in this app. But what's cool about it is that it asks you questions. So every day you rate your day. How was your day? And then not only that, but it asks you why. So, oh, you had a good day. What made your day good? And so then I started thinking, okay, well, today I did yoga and I ate well and the kids did their homework. And so I start listing all of the things that went really well that day. And then it makes me want to continue those habits because the next day I want it to be good. I want to do the same things, and I want to write that I had a good day. I don't want to write that I had a bad day. Or if I did have a bad day, why? What made it bad? And let's look at that and let's analyze that, and let's not keep reliving that same cycle.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now actually, can you share that? And
yeah, I will. There is a fee. It was like $40, I think, for the app, which is I've never paid for anything like that before, but I find that it's very helpful because any journal you're going to buy at Chapters is going to be at least $20.
Yeah, and you're anyways. And
yeah,
to share, they'll hook a homegirl.
And you get reminders. I get like notifications to do it. And so yeah, it's actually a really good app. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I feel like too, when you pay for something like that, it prompts you to want to use it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And we're saving money right now in quarantine, I hope. I mean, we're not going out as much, and yeah.
So now with the whole quarantine thing, I know you've seen some of the debates. What's your stance on it? Is this, what do you think?
It's really hard. This is like such a hard subject. No, I'll tell you why. So everything that's coming out and all of these theories, every time I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then something else comes out. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And like all these things make sense. And like, you want to be woke, as you say, but like, I don't even know what to believe anymore. I do believe that what we're hearing on the news is not the actual story. I do believe there's so much more to it because it doesn't make sense. The level of like the way we've reacted as like the world, all over the world, for the amount of cases and the amount of deaths, it just doesn't make sense versus everything else that's happened in the past. Like just how we're reacting to it doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like there has to be something. I don't know what it is. I don't have an opinion on it. Like I really don't know because there's so many things that it could be.
Do you care to know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of messed up that we live in a world and we don't know what's actually happening.
Right.
And we're so drastically affected by it. And the way that we operate and on every single level is going to forever be changed by this. The way businesses are run are going to be changed. Like, this is having such a huge impact. And I was on with you a month ago. I had no idea that this is what it was going to turn into. Like, I thought until April 5th, and then we go back to school and everything goes back to normal. Like, that's what I thought.
Me, I honestly was like, yeah, if everyone would just stay home, it'll take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then like 4 weeks in, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. And then, like, I'm hearing of people that I know that are being like, it's not people I know directly, but it's someone that I know is family and parents and things like that. They're being affected by it. Like, it's actually happening. Something is actually happening, and it's not getting any better. And I honestly don't think that the kids, like, they might go back in September, but I think that's going to be the best case scenario is if kids go back to school in September.
Really, eh?
That's just, I don't know. I just don't see anything like the amount of change we've just gone through. You can't just go back to normal. Like, summertime, like, we're not just going to open everything and now everyone's together. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that if you want me to believe that it's this big scary virus, to just at a drop of a hat say, well, we're going to slowly open everything back up because the economy can't die, but if you guys do, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, kind of terrifying in the same respect.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out there. Like,
I know. It's made me really think a lot about just what I even want to do with my career. The last time I was on here, I talked about banking.
You're still working.
Well, yeah, I've been off now, and I'm gonna have to eventually go back at some point. But the kids are home, and they don't have school. It's like, what am I supposed to do? It's hard either way because I need to be home and care for my kids. My husband is still working; like, he's building 2 houses right now. You know, like, certain things that can't be put on hold. Like, I don't know. It's just banking as a whole, and just the economy and the greed and all of this corporate greed that's happening right now. It's really making me think a lot about, like, how is this going to represent who I am as a person if I'm going to put out this life of self-love and authenticity and breaking down, like, just all this negativity. I don't know, it's really messed up.
It is. It's really scary to think about. I don't think anybody knows the answers. I think that a lot of us want to try to find the answers the best we can. But the reality is, when you're in a state of unknown, it'll always be unknown. And chasing answers that are never going to be given is just going down a rabbit hole.
I know.
So.
And then you have the other side of it of, like, do we just listen to them and just stay home and give up our freedom at the drop of a hat? Like, you know?
It's a two-way street, and I think it's really hard for us to all swallow.
Yeah, Dean said do Reiki full time.
In Blackburn.
That's my street. So we call it Project Blackburn, that house. That's why. So I have a Reiki studio that has been built.
Oh, nice.
And I am taking formal coaching starting in September, because I do want to start my own business of being a life coach and a self-love coach. And I really want to work with people. And I think that just my knowledge and experience in the banking world, I could offer a lot of insight into financing and coaching with financing. And so I think everything kind of led me up to this, and I would love to do that. It's going to take some time to really build it up. But yeah, that's the plan.
So now I want to bring this up because I knew a guy, he was a trainer and he used to do Reiki. And he claimed, and I want to get your perspective on this. He claimed that he could channel people.
Yes.
So he was dreaming, he could, like, enter their dream. And I was like, yeah, okay. And it happened. And it happened in, like, a really, like, frightening, terrifying dream.
Okay.
And I went back and I spoke to somebody that knew them, and I was like, this was my dream. And they're like, oh my God, you couldn't possibly have known that because that happened on Sunday. And when I went to see this person, it was Tuesday. And they're like, that this person that could do all the Reiki was, like, frantic, and they were trying to figure out their life, and they were reaching out to all their clients, trying to, like, pull them back in. And so she said, I think he channeled you.
Channeled you?
Yeah, like through my dream.
Wow.
And I've been shook ever since. And then I've also been like, that can't be true. And then the other half is like, well, how did I know all the things that I knew after this dream that she just confirmed? So is this a thing with Reiki? Like, is this like kind of voodoo?
I don't know. Like when I've gone to Reiki, every single time, my Reiki practitioner has connected with my mom.
Okay.
Every single time. And so the first time that I ever met her was at work. Actually, she came into my work, and it was a friend of a coworker, and she came into my office, and I don't know what it was about her. It was like, you know, when you're meant to meet people and like you feel like sparks, like it was insane. I was releasing my entire life and everything I was going through, and I was bawling in my office at work to this stranger. I had never met her before, and that's not something that I would have done. Like everything was just coming out, and I could feel like my body just like tingling.
Right.
And she was like, your mom is here right now and her hand is on your shoulder. And like I could feel it, which is insane. And I was like, okay, again, maybe she's just saying that and whatever. But every single time I'm laying there and I'm feeling things and I'm feeling my mother's presence, and she's telling me, oh yeah, she's totally here right now. And I'm feeling it at the same time.
That's crazy.
So I know. And I think there's certain levels of intuition, and I think that we all have ability.
Yeah.
But not everyone is able to tap into it or knows how. But I think, like, from what you said, I mean, that's obviously an opening for you. I think that's like, I don't know. It's up to you to explore or not, but there's something there. And that's what you have to decide. You have to make a decision. Do I want to explore this further? And a lot of religions will say don't. That's the devil.
Yeah.
And that's the fear.
And I've heard that. And I think too, again, you have to look at it in both sides, right? If you believe in religion, then you also have to mildly believe, again, not that it is necessarily quote unquote the devil, but that it is not the best spirit. But then again, we also believe in good spirits and in angels, and you know, and so you can't believe in all of this supernatural and in God and disregard that presence. And you have to build a solid ground of a control, what you're going to allow into your life and what you aren't. And that's the same thing with energy blocking, right? Like if somebody is negative, you gravitate away from them.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And being someone who is creative like you are, and being a hairstylist and taking on all of that energy and dealing with people, you have that ability to connect with people, and you have that ability to feel if someone has good or negative energy, right?
Of course. And I think it's a learned thing though. I think it's learned because at the beginning it used to make me very anxious.
Yes.
Spend an entire day talking to like 15 different people, and I couldn't understand why at the end of it I wanted to jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
And then I realized slowly I was taking on everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't know where to put it, and that's when I went on my personal Instagram page and I started writing a lot, and I would release it, and a lot of what I shared was my own thoughts, and a lot of what I would share was the energy that kind of passed through me that day. And so I know a lot of people thought it was weird and crazy, and why is this bitch talking?
No, I was so drawn to you because of that.
Thank you.
I would see it and I was like, oh, she's like me. That's what I would think. Oh,
I get it.
I get it. And I think that's what made us closer too, is that we connected on that level, because I knew that you were going through a growth process, because I could see it, because I'm like, that's what happened with me. And with my job, I see people day to day, and it's finances, and it's like family problems and stress, and they just open up to you and it's all there. And I was taking on the energy and I didn't know what to do with it. And I would come home and I'm like fully exhausted. Meanwhile, my husband, who works physical labor from like 7 a.m. to like all day, and is like, you know what I mean? Like he's working so hard physically.
Yeah.
Comes home, he's like, what are you so tired about? You're sitting at a desk all day. I'm exhausted. I'm drained, like fully. And I was taking on that energy, and I didn't know how to stop it. It's only when I got into it, I started recognizing it, and I just started like, I'm there for you, I'm here for you, and I'm listening to you, but I'm also keeping a distance from my energy.
Yeah. You
And
learn,
that's something that
learn
I had to
quickly.
learn. You learn. Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's funny because I would like certain people I would step away from, and I think not that I would intentionally do it. I would still keep, you know, the normal conversation flowing, but I couldn't be that full heart or my full self to them.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
would get those questions like, what's wrong? Something wrong? Why aren't you giving me the attention that I need right now? And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm just protecting myself in this moment. Not because
Yes.
you're
Yes.
bad, but because I need protecting right now, you know? And it's recognizing when you just like, this is too much for me.
And sometimes it triggers something inside of you, and sometimes it's the, you know, it brings something up that you don't even want to go there, and sometimes it's just too much and it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Like there's some, like I have this one client who's extremely anxious. Like it's too much for me. I can't, like I had to take a huge sigh, and I was like, and she was like, "Wow." I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like I had to, like it was just, it's way too much sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that I can even be that way to a lot of people, right? Like
Yeah.
it's mutual. It goes both ways, and we can
Yeah.
all recognize when we just need to like draw back and then come back again.
Yes.
And I think that's healthy, and it's growth, and it's admirable and respectable, and it's going to take us all further through this process, right? So now we're running out of time. Give me your best shot. What is the last thing you want to leave your viewers with?
I mean, I think the most important thing right now is that we were unprepared for this. And so to have the expectation that we were going to do everything well and do everything right is extremely naive. So don't take that on. Don't think that you're supposed to know how to be and how to act and everything to do, because none of us do. And we're all going through it for the first time. And treat yourself like you would treat your child, or treat yourself like you would treat your very closest friend. Like just pour love into yourself and remind yourself that it's okay and you're still learning, and we're all learning together, because none of us, like I said, it's my grandmother's birthday. She's 86. She's never experienced anything like this, and she's 86 years old. Like this is new, and we can't expect ourselves to just know what to do right away.
It's so true. Sanaa, thank you so much for opening up the way that you did. I loved that conversation. You gave me goosebumps the whole
Yes. It was so good.
And
I love it.
We'll chat soon, Sanaa. Stay
Yeah.
sane, stay safe. Kiss the
Same
kids.
to you.
I hope they're sleeping.
No, they're screaming downstairs. My husband's yelling at them. I said sit down.
Yeah, let's go to bed. They don't need to know.
Okay, bye.
Bye, love you. Take care.
Thanks.